Good morning on this chilly fall morning. It's getting into the upper 20s, low 30s almost every night now, so it's getting cold. Snow's going to be flying here pretty soon, so I got one last outside project to get done. As you just saw, I put some fuel in the beast, so she's getting warmed up. And today's project is I need to fill this area in right here. Let's go and take a look at it real quick. So this area was part of that big dirt pile I had. Right there's the one Connex. And what I did was, after I got the dirt pulled out of here, I dug down to the virgin gravel layer. So I need to fill it back in a little bit. Like right here at the corner of the shipping container, you can see it's kind of almost underpinned at the moment. So I need to fill this in just so during the freeze thaw cycle coming this winter and spring, that more of this doesn't fall out and the shipping container actually ends up tilting or anything. So I need to fill this area in with gravel. And then down here, I think you can see how the gravel height under the container is actually a little bit higher than out here where I'm at. So I need to fill this area in with I'm guessing probably 3-4 inches of gravel. And the primary reason I took the dirt out is in the springtime when the snow starts melting, the ground is still frozen. So under this shipping container and actually in between the two shipping containers, it will fill up with water like over an ankle deep. So I wanted to dig this out, and now this gives some place for the water to flow. It can flow down here in this area and then seep into the ground and dirt. But I needed to get the dirt out of here down to the gravel layer and then fill it back in. And like even right here, you can see I need to definitely build this area up. So during the freeze thaw cycle, all this gravel doesn't fall out, and then this corner ends up falling down, and then the container, instead of sitting level, ends up sitting like this. I need to move this tire, obviously. I'll get that here in a second. But a few days ago, I had this pile of gravel delivered by the local quarry just down the road. So today's project, we need to move this pile of gravel into this trench. So let's get after it and quit wasting daylight. I got this area filled in, as you can see, and I got it where I want it. There's a slight slope away from the connexes, which I want, so the water runs away from them and down into kind of like this edge. That way it gives it a lot of room for the water to run. And if there's too much water, it can actually run up on top of the ground and then out down the hillside there. And also, as you saw, I built it up right here at the two corners back in the back, and right here I built it up that way during the freeze thaw cycle. It doesn't all fall out under the corners and make the connexes go from level to leaning bad this one way. And I left the edges open, that way the water, any water here can run down through here and out that way. So this part of the project is done. I do have a little bit of cleanup right here, but I need to get rid of this little pile that I have left. And I'm just gonna take this pile and move it over to that corner of the build site. That corner of the build site is about 3 feet lower, or originally it was about 3 feet lower than this corner where the excavator's sitting now. So I do need to build that up anyway, so I'll just take this and move it down there. It's still gonna be low, but it won't be nearly as bad. So let's get that part of the job done. Before I can bring that gravel over to this corner, I need to move this wheel, this wire wheel, over to the other side of the property. So let's get that done. Time for a little selfish plug. I do have a merch store, so definitely check that out. Also, I have memberships. It's only $2.99 a month, so feel free to join if you're so inclined. Let's get back to this project. I got this area all cleaned up where he dumped the pile of gravel. And then I actually had a little bit of a low spot right here. There was always a puddle that would form right in this area. So I got that filled in kinda. I got it all back bladed out. It's not perfectly flat or anything like that, but right now it's just a driveway, so it doesn't have to be perfectly flat, but it's ready for winter time. When the snow starts flying, I found out if I wait till there's about 6 inches of snow on the ground, and then instead of getting out the snow blower, I just fire up the excavator and track over top of it all. It packs it in nice and tight, and then after that, all the subsequent snowfalls, I can get out the snow blower and it'll just blow snow. It won't be picking up rocks and shooting them out the chute and stuff like that. So this area is good to go now for the winter time. Now I gotta come over here and basically do the same thing over here. It's real uneven, really bumpy. I put the new gravel right over there that you can see. So I just need to back blade all this area, and actually right in this area, it's kind of flat or kind of low. So I'm gonna just start over there and just back blade everything right over to this area. So let's get this done, and then the parking driveway area will be ready for Christmas, ready for winter. Obviously you guys can see where my head is at, already thinking the major holiday. So let's get to this and quit wasting daylight. What do you think? You think this is a good enough job for a driveway and getting ready for the winter time? Let me know in the comments. I think I'm pretty much done here. I got this pulled back and smoothed out some. Also, I wanted to get the sawdust mixed in. There was a lot of chainsawing going on here. We cut up a lot of wood right in this area, so there was a lot of sawdust, so I wanted to get that mixed into the gravel instead of sitting on top. So that's all mixed in. I got that pile of pit run gravel that I had delivered spread out down through there. That's ready. There's a little low spot right here, so that's all filled in. So the driveway's good to go, ready for the winter time. So bring on the cold and the snow. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks, everyone.